Hi, welcome to week 4 of Cookalong Live, where today we're going to make chicken fajitas. Bear in mind this is the last Cookalong we have before the February holidays, and hopefully we'll have more news about the next Cookalong sessions after that. So, I've prepped the chicken already. I've chopped it up into strips. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop the veg up with you guys, and then after that we'll try and make all the components. Along with the chicken fajitas, we're going to make a guacamole and we're going to make a salsa. So, still a lot to do. So, first of all, we're going to just prep the veg. So, just chop up the pepper. The way we've been doing it before is chopping round the pepper, getting all the flesh, and then just doing it in strips. All you need is that strip. It doesn't have to be exact, it doesn't have to be small. It can be it doesn't have to be exact. Just pop them all in the same bowls chickens in, because what we're going to do is, after the onion and the pepper is prepped, all the veg and chicken are going to get the spices in it and marinate it. Not for long, but just ensures all the spices are around all the components. So then we'll just go around. Always remember, if you are working with kids in the kitchen, just remember to keep an eye on them if they're helping you chop the pepper or any of the veg. And obviously when it comes to the chicken, when you are prepping the chicken, just make sure that you're washing your hands after, because it is a raw meat. So just, as I say, throw it all in. Doesn't have to be exact, doesn't have to be big. Obviously the bigger you've got it, the longer it will take to cook, but actually for this recipe, fajitas is always quite a quick meal to make. If you're struggling at home for a dish to make for your kids, or if you're always like, oh, I always make the same things, well, fajitas is always a brilliant recipe to do. It also gets rid of some of the veg in your house. The common veggies that we have left in the house is onions, sometimes peppers if you intend to buy it for like salads or throughout the day for lunches. Sometimes we have pepper left over and we don't really know how to use it, so it's ideal for this as well. After we've cut the peppers, we're going to cut the onions. So we've got a red onion today. Doesn't really matter, you can have a red or a white onion. Both have the same effect of the dish. So just use what you've got at home. Here we're not going to use it's not going to be diced like all the other recipes we've had just now. We're going to have them in strips. So how we do that is we peel the onion like we normally do for any of the recipes. For the red onion, it should be quite glossy. And then what you're going to do is, when it's full, you're just going to chop it down long ways. I mean, you can add more onion into it if you really like onion, or you can do a mixture of red and white onion. So what you're going to do after you've got your full onion rings is cut them in half, and then just spread them out in the bowl with your pepper and your chicken. I'm actually going to use half another onion, just because that was quite a small red onion. Again, just making sure we peel it all the way around. This meal as well is really quite good if you want to freeze or make batch cook. Chicken fajitas is a really quick recipe to make, but also a quick one just to put into a freezer bag. Obviously put your details on the front of when it was prepped and when it should get eaten by, but then chuck it into the freezer and then just defrost before you cook it. So that's the onion done. Just going to do all of that. Okay, so that's the onion, your chicken and your peppers. What you're going to do to add to that is you've got your spice mix that should be in one of your bags. That's cumin, a tablespoon of cumin, tablespoon of coriander, tablespoon of paprika or smoked paprika. You can use sweet paprika as well. And then it's up to you how much chili powder you put in it. In the packs it's like half a tablespoon. But yeah, kind of do that to your own taste. And then you're just going to get a spoon and mix it all in to make sure that all the chicken and all the veg is covered in the seasoning. You don't want any of your veg or your chicken not to have the seasoning in it. It means it marinates it in. Now, alternatively, if you don't have time to kind of put it onto a bowl, mix it up and make all the things separately, what you can do is you can just fry off your chicken and your pepper and your onions and then add the seasoning in, like you would normally do in your pre-pack mixes that you would get from the supermarket. So yeah, mix it all in, marinate it all together. Now you can leave that you can just leave that to kind of sit there for 10 minutes whilst you make your salsa and your guacamole. What we're going to move on to next is we're going to make the salsa. How we make our salsa is we're going to kind of dice 2 tomatoes. As you see, I've kind of, again, bought more than the 2. I mean, these recipes, you can kind of add and take as little or as much out as you want. And then you're just going to chuck it into a bowl. And this is a really easy recipe. So obviously, if you go to the shops, it's so easy to now buy salsa and buy guacamole, but you don't know how fresh it is. And actually, there's always some sort of preservative in those kind of shop bought mixes. On top of that, if you're making fajitas at home using a supermarket mix, there's in those mixes itself it has so much more salt and again preservatives that kind of we wouldn't normally add into just cooking from raw ingredients. So that's why if the more you make fresh at home, the better, because you know what you're eating. So that's the tomatoes diced. It needs to be quite a thick dice. It's not like a one that you would fry onions with. It's not finely diced, it's just normal kind of 2 centimetre by 2 centimetre squares. So that's your salsa, your onions, your tomatoes, sorry. And then what you're going to do, chop this one up. So put it in. And you're going to add the coriander. So the salsa, basically, the salsa components you have for this recipe is your tomatoes, spring onion. Again, similar to kind of the fajitas itself, you can use normal white onion, doesn't really matter. Just whatever's in the house, I kind of tend to use. And then it's just finely chopped up. Kind of what you want is you want the onions to be slightly more fine than the tomatoes. If you struggle with using a knife, you don't have to use a knife when you're cutting spring onions. You can use scissors. They use the same kind of effect. Obviously, if you're working with kids again, just make sure that they're nice and safe. So, you've got your spring onions and your tomatoes. And then what I'm going to say is kind of judge it using your eye, but if you want to add more onion, this would be the right time to do it. So just this is always a firm favourite on like our lunch club programmes again. Chicken fajita. Also, like, you can do different variations of chicken fajita. So you can do chicken fajita just normal, like what we're doing, but then you can make it into a chicken fajita pasta with some cream cheese. And then you can also make it into quesadilla with just doing exactly what you would do with the normal fajita recipe, and then just to add in some cheese and then toast your wrap. So that went all in. What you're going to do after this is just use some fresh coriander. Now, you don't normally use your knife for this, you would use scissors and just kind of it can be as fine or as thick as you want. I know coriander is kind of to specific taste and texture. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to mix that in. So the last thing you're going to add to that salsa is you're going to add the juice of 1 or half a lime. So you just want to mix it all together, make sure all the juices are kind of in, and then you're going to add the lime. So the best way to juice a lime is obviously from the juice. Just cut the lime in half and then just squeeze it in. I'm just going to add some lime juice in. And it should smell quite coriandery, but it does smell really good. Okay, so that is our salsa done. Now what we're going to move on to is we're going to move on to our avocado and our guacamole. So, what we're going to do with this one, all you need for a guacamole is you need avocado, a bowl, a sharp knife, and a fork, and some lime juice. So, what you're going to do is you're going to, how we chop, so avocados are quite hard to use, and how to do it properly. So you want to make sure that you kind of put your knife in, because there's a pip in the middle. You want to kind of guide your knife round the pip, and then you should be able, once you've chopped round, if you twist it opposite ways, you'll open up your avocado. It's the green flesh we want. We don't want the pip. So best way to get the pip out is use your knife and just use your knife to get it put in, and then you'll be able to get it out. Yeah. As I say, what we kind of say for avocado is that make sure the adult does it rather than a kid. So what you're going to kind of do now is you're going to spoon out, we can get a spoon quickly, to spoon out this avocado into the bowl. So you're going to spoon the avocado into the bowl. It should come out, if the avocado is ripe, it should come off really quick, quite easy. Avocado, when it's ripe, it's like a buttery, kind of fleshy texture. So, that's what your avocado should look like now. So you've taken it from your skin and it's kind of in your bowl. This is where your fork comes into hand. And what you're going to do is you're just going to mash up the avocado. It's quite hard to mash up the avocado to start off with, but actually it gets a lot easier once it starts to get more creamy. So just mash it up. Avocado is becoming really popular in the UK. More and more people have them at their breakfast. It's really good. It's always nice to give kids the opportunity to try new things as well, especially avocado and kind of your fruits and veggies that they might not have the opportunity to try elsewhere. That's why we're quite an advocate on kind of tastings and taste sessions that we do with the kids in school. So, you're mashing it all together. So now after you've mashed it together, it should be a bit more of a creamy consistency. You'll see that it's a lot easier to press down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add some lime juice to it. Again, it's kind of the half the lime juice, so You've used half the lime juice for the salsa, the other half is getting used in this, and you're just mixing it in. Again, just keep mashing together. And that is your guacamole done. Okay, so now what you've done is you've made your guacamole, you've made your salsa, and now you're going to start making your chicken. So we have our chicken with our peppers and onions, all kind of marinated in. What you're going to do is you're going to add it into the your oil. What I would say before you do that is just put a squirt of garlic puree or just crushed garlic onto your chicken. Is it takes the flavour, gives the flavour a bit more of a garlicky kick. How we're going to do this is you're going to put olive oil into a pan. You're going to heat the olive oil up. Right, you're going to heat the olive oil up. Sorry, this wasn't an induction pan. That's right, it's beef milk. So you can just add. It's like a tablespoon of olive oil, it's not a lot that you need. And just kind of let that heat up quickly. If you are using inductions, kind of heat up. The oil is quite good, but it's quite quick as well, so just as soon as it's heating up, turn the heat down on your induction, because you don't need it that high, just burn the pan. What you're going to do is you're going to put all your ingredients in, and then just mix it around. Mix it around the oil. So fajitas come from Texas and North Mexico. The word fajita it was kind of invented in the 1930s, and it was kind of skirt steak was used as payment for the cowboys, and that's how it came about as fajitas. What you can do if you have extra wraps at home, tortilla wraps, you can chop them up using scissors or a knife and make them into kind of triangles, and then chuck them into your air fryer or your oven, and that can make tortilla chips as well, which are quite good for nachos and all the other stuff that you can make with tortilla chips. Kind of just, as I say, keep stirring it in. And then on your fajita, and 1/4 a packet of your normal fajita mixes has 4.5 grams of sugar in it, which is your recommended 30 grams per day, so you can see it's quite a high percentage, along with an even higher percentage of salt, which is there's about 1.5 grams of salt in your fajita pack for 1/4 of the mix, when your recommended daily allowance is 6 grams of the loaf. So you can kind of see that the pack mixes are high in salt, high in sugar, when you could just make it yourself and you know kind of what's in it. There's very little salt, and the only sugars are the ones that you add into it. So just keep stirring it, making sure that all the veg and all the chicken is getting cooked. Apart from that, we are nearly done. So what I would say is with your salsa and with your guacamole is kind of, you can hold on to it in the fridge for a good week, probably guacamole, and a good at least 3 days for your salsa. So again, using that kind of tortilla chips maybe, making nachos afterwards, day after, or a couple of days after, or tacos using beef. It's kind of giving you additional recipes that you can kind of make whilst using the same kind of stuff that you've already got in the house or already cooked before. You always want to make home cooking as easy and accessible as you can. So that's about it. What I'll do is I'll come back after the chicken is cooked. Just keep stirring the chicken as you go, just so then we know kind of it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan and that all the chicken's getting the same heat. But apart from that, it's nearly done. That shows you how quick it is to make chicken fajitas. What I'll do is I'll come back after the chicken is more cooked. See you in a bit. So now our kind of chicken's been on for a good 10 minutes. And it's starting to look like it's actually cooked. What you want to make sure that the chicken is that the chicken is white inside and it's kind of up to temperature. And remember, that's about 75 degrees and above. It's cooked. It's safe to eat if it's past that. So yeah, kind of make sure there's no raw bits. Stirring it in. I'm actually going to take this home to eat with the family today. But what you would do after that is you would just get your wrap, put in your salsa, your guacamole, and then just add some of the chicken in, wrap it up, and then eat it. You can also add cheese. Also, if you don't want to eat chicken, or if you don't eat chicken, you can use beef, you can use pork. You can also use like fish and seafood, or if you are vegan or vegetarian, you can use a plant-based alternative as well. So it's quite a versatile recipe. But yeah, that's about it. I will hopefully see you back sometime soon for Cookalong Live. I was keeping an eye out on our socials. How we kind of are planning to do the rest of the year is that we'll do a Cookalong Live every month with a different recipe, from a penny bit classic or to a brand new recipe, and we'll do that for every month of 2025. But there'll be more details about that coming out very shortly. But that's all from me. Have a good week, and I'll see you soon.